Hello, student. Welcome to the Brilliance Growth Academy once again. Today, we are going to study about the direction, but we are moving on the next important element that is your direction, related with the element of direction, and they are supervising, motivation, leadership, and communications. So today we will study about these four element of direction, which are very much important. And the number of time the question is usually put up from this particular point. So what are these four elements about the directions and how it will help all the organization to make the particular decisions about supervision, motivation, leadership, and the communication. So one by one we will study about this, and this is the important directions or important for the directions that we need to study about each and element in a particular manner. So first we are starting by the supervision. Supervising or supervisions can be defined as an element of directing and overseeing the work as a managerial function performed by the supervisor at the operational level. You need to identify and oversee the work, how the people's working around you or working under you are performing during the operation, and how they are working in a very systematic manner, and how they have organized their resources, how they are putting up their own interest, their own working atmosphere in a right manner. So you need to understand how your people or how the people around you are working. As a supervisor, you have to oversee them, oversee their work, and identify that how they are working in a very systematic environment. So definitions start with continuous process of guiding the effort of human resources and other material to achieve the desired work goals. It means overseeing what is being done by the subordinate and providing instruction for optimum resource utilization. So as a supervisor, you need to focus on the activities and other function or a task are being performed by the subordinate working under you, or as a supervisor, you have to oversee their overall performance and how they are working. You need to identify their work in a particular sense and to identify how their work will help to achieve the desired work goals set by the organizations. So it means that you have to oversee what is being done by the supervisor, by the subordinate, and how the instruction for optimal resource utilizations will be fulfilled or will be obeyed. So in this direction, you have to make a supervision. So in this manner, what are your roles and importance as a supervisor? You need to focus on day-to-day contact, communication link, maintain the group unity, ensure the target achievement, provide on-the-job training, influence and build the high morale, and analyze, give feedbacks. So on as supervisor, your role is quite important, and you have to magnify your roles when you are suggesting your employees to work in a very important manner. So when you are working with the employees, so you have to take care your their day-to-day information, day-to-day contact. So you need to maintain an immediate and a friendly contact with the workers, act as a guide, friend, and a philosopher. You have to guide them, you have to you have to work with them as a friend, you have to work as an instructor, as a philosopher, so that you can give them some instruction in a very smooth and convenient manner or friendly manner. Next, you are working as a communication link. So you are working as a bridge between the worker and the top management, and the relying corporate policies down and the worker grievances, which prevent the industrial conflict, right? So when you are working on a bridge between the worker and the top management, and you are particularly good in disseminating or promoting the corporate policies, among the workers, and you are good at resolving the conflict, resolving the grievances among the workers, then you are definitely working as a good communication link or good communicators between the worker and the top management. So in this way, your role is quite important, your role is prominent and vital. Then you have to think in a very different manner. Next, you are focusing on the maintain group unity. You have to resolve the internal employee differences and sort out the personal frictions to maintain a harmonious work teams. So you have to meet with the group members to resolve internal employee differences. Sometimes the employees are having a problems with each others, and you have to work as a resolver for them, right? You have to sort out personal frictions, personal grudges that are harmful for the business and its task. So you are providing your own experience, your own way of working, so that they can maintain a harmonious relationship with each others in terms of employees working. So you have to maintain the group unity. Next, you are ensuring target achievement. You definitely are working with the employees, and you are very much focused about how the employees of the organization are target oriented and how their action might be diverted to in a direction in which they can bring more productivity and more results from the organization point of view. So you have to ensure you are target oriented and you are able to achieve the target in a very friendly manners by having a good relationship with the employees and by guiding them as a philosopher and working as a communicator or a communication link. Next, you are providing the on the job training. You build a highly competent workforce by training workers directly on the machines operations and safety protocol. So it is very important to guide the employee of the organizations or the supervisors level, or it is the responsibility of a supervisor to provide the training to the employees who are on the job. So it will help them to understand the operational aspects of the organizations in a very significant manner. They would be able to understand the process, the way, and how they are good at doing at something, how they can manage the raw material, how they can manage the its spoilage, its working. So everything would matter most. So while providing the on the job training related with the operation aspect, related with the behavioral aspect, everywhere it will helpful for the organization and its employees. So as a supervisor, your duty is important. Next, you have to have influence and build the high morale, right? You have to play the role of a leadership, or you have to play the role of a leader, and in the organization you have to lead them in a very tactful manner so that the confidence and the stable morale of the employees can bring forth more important result for the organization point of view, right? So it is important to bring forth bring forth the important aspects of the employees in terms of their confidence and in terms of their morale within the factory floor workers. So it will helpful for them to consider their approach in terms of work, how they can remain productive, how they can remain stable in their morale. So it will help them, it will increase the confidence among the employees when the supervisor guide them in a very systematic and friendly manner. So as a supervisor, your role is important. Next, you have to analyze and give feedback, critics performance metrics, and provide the direct feedbacks to workers, suggesting ways to develop their core technical skills. So it is the responsibility of a supervisor to analyze and give feedback on the performance area or a performance level in which the an employee is working, or provide direct feedback to the worker. So suggesting ways to develop their core technical skills, or as a supervisor, your duty is to your duty is to suggest some of the important ways how they can develop their core technical skills related with the operation, related with the machinery, related with the other instruments. So it will help them to come out with the important aspects of their operation, or bring forth the quality aspects of their business, or bring forth the quality aspects of their job performance. So it will review their job performance, it will give them a direct feedback related to their job and related to their technical skills. Or sometime supervisor also help the employees how they can enhance their technical skills by organizing industry visits, or by giving them some important lectures organized from the organization from the time to time, by inviting the by inviting the industry experts from the different field. So in this way supervisor can play an important role. Next, we are moving on the motivation. Motivation is very important and the second best element of the directions. Formally, authority alone cannot extract the best work from the employees. Formal authority alone cannot extract the best work from employees. Motivation stimulates people to take up work voluntarily. Right? Sometimes formal authority, like a subordinate superiors, are working together, but employees are not able to showcase their performance in a very significant manner, or they are not able to have a friendly relationship with each other. So in this case, motivations provided by the supervisor to their subordinate will help the organization to bring up or bring forth more qualitative aspects of their work. So motivation is important. Motivations have its own vocabulary, and it is separated in three phases. First is a motive, an internal psychological state arising from the deep human needs that activate, energize, and direct the human behavior towards a specific goals. Unfulfilled motives cause the restlessness. So there is a motive when employees start working with an organization. The motives activate an employees, energize an employees, and direct his or her behavior towards a specific goals. If you are having a goal of salary that you can draw from the organization by providing them your own work, your own service, then you have a specific motives of earning. Motivation, the actual process of stimulating people to take structured action to satisfy their needs and achieve desired organization goals. This process or this phase relate with the process of stimulate the people, stimulate the employees in a very significant manner so that they can take structured actions on account of organization, because organization have its own objective and goals, and it should be fulfilled only by when employees of the organizations are taking structured action in a very significant manner, so that if they are able to satisfy the organization's goals, then organization will help to satisfy their own needs and achieve desired organization perspective. Next is a motivator. Actual techniques utilized by the manager to influence behavior, such as the motivator. So motivator is a kind of a factor, you can say, factors that will increase your motivation to works towards your goals, works towards the organization goals. So motivators can be like a salary hike after 1 year or 6 months will give you motivation. Performance bonus will give you the motivation. Praise and responsibilities or authority will give you the motivation. So these are the kind of factors that motivates the employees in a very significant manner. So there are three aspects of motivation. Now we are studying about primary features of the motivation. First is internal feeling. Second is to produce a goal-oriented behavior. Third, it can be positive or negative. Or fourth one is a complex process. So we are talking about the behavioral aspect. Motivation is what? Motivation is a kind of behavior that you show towards your jobs, towards your works, towards your supervisors, and at the organization level. So basically, motivation is what? Basically, motivation is an internal feeling, right? What you feel about your work, what you feel about your supervisor, what you feel about the activity or task that you do on a regular basis. So all are working in a very significant manner. So it arises from the internal psychological drives that need, urges, or aspirations. If you have your own need of purchasing a car, your house, or anything else which are important for you, then it's your internal feeling that will drive you to take the action, right? So your internal feeling is a part of motivation, or you can say that it is a feature of motivation. Next, you can say that it is produced goal directed behavior, right? If you have a good motivation, then it definitely guide your behaviors towards the goal of the organization, towards the goal of your own, that will help you to achieve your own goal along with the organization. So it will directly guide a person's behaviors towards achieving an incentive, such as working hardest to secure a desired promotion. Third one, it can be positive or negative. From positive motivation, use reward such as pay hike and recognition, and negative from motivation relies on disciplinary action like penalties, stopping increments, and threats. So you must always have a positive motivations instead of negative one. Positive will give you recognition, hikes, say hikes or salary hikes, more bonus, more performance reviews, more performance bonuses. But negative motivation will definitely kill your motivations. Like it will charge your salary, it will stopping your further increment, or sometimes it will be a threat to your job, right? So you should focus on only on more positive aspects of the motivation. Next, it's a complex process, definitely behave, because it is related with the human behavior. So human expectation, perception, reactions are highly heterogeneous. They cannot be same at all moment of time, at all the point, or at all the time. So you have to be very vulnerable about the the human works throughout the organizations. Their expectation, their perceptions, their reactions are highly differential or highly differentiated due to the factor of motivations. So a single motivator will not have a uniform effect on all the individual. You cannot say that there is he or she only motivated by a single factor or single point. There are number of motivators that will guide or hide your behavior, right? So you have to understand the motivation and its feature in this particular manner. Now we are moving on the multiple step motivation process. Multiple step motivation process is start with the unsatisfied need, right? A baseline deficit creates an initial internal void in sense कि sometimes you do not have any job, right? So but if you if sorry the you can start with your particular example. Suppose you want to have a car, but you cannot purchase a car because of the money that you do not have. So it's your unsatisfied need. Now tension and unfulfilled need create emotional psychological tension. Now you will think that if you have a job, then you can buy a car, or you can buy a house by the amount you receive through the job you done. So it will create a psychological tension among the employees or among the people. Drive. The tension stimulate internal drives or urges within the individual. Now that this tension will drive you, now this tension will drive you to find a particular job, find a particular option, find a particular task that will help you to fulfill your dream. Now you will go for your search behavior. Individual initiate a proactive search to satisfy the active drive. So after getting drive, from your internal stimulations. Your search behavior become more active. You actively looking for a job. You are actively finding a new task so that you can complete your inner unsatisfied demand. Satisfy need, an appropriate action or internal objection is discovered and secured. Satisfy need in sense, once you are able to get the job, now you are doing the job and you are getting the salary. So in this way, you are able to match your desire, match your unsatisfied need with the money that you receive by working in a particular organization. So an appropriate action or internal objections is discovered or secured. It means that you have an earlier you had a unsatisfied need, but now it has been satisfied because you have got a particular job, you have got a particular salary, bonuses you are getting, so it will help you to satisfy your unsatisfied need. Last is reduction of the tension. The individual is relieved of the psychological tension, restoring the balance. So a need creates a emotional psychological tension, and now it has resolved because you are able to satisfy your needs because the job you have in your hand, and that job is able to give you the right amount of salary, and the right amount of salary will help you to complete your unsatisfied needs. So this will reduce your tension, reduce your unfulfilled demand. So in this way your multiple step motivation process will work. Okay, next we are moving on structural importance of motivation. What is the structural importance of motivation and how it will helpful for the organization and the employees as well. So it is start with, it improves performance level, it changes the indifferent or negative attitude, it reduces the employees turnover, and it reduces the workplace absenteeism, and it's a smooth introduction of structural changes. So let me help you to clear out all the five structural importance of motivation. First of all, when you are motivated, then definitely it will improve your performance level. So once you are able to satisfy your need, it will need channel worker energize towards the optimizing the performance. So when you have satisfied need channel worker energies toward the optimize the performance. Suppose you want to buy a car, now you have bought the car. Now your need is satisfied. So this satisfied need will give you the internal satisfaction, and internal satisfaction will increase your performance and it will be optimized at the organizational level. Second, it will change the indifferent or negative attitude. It transforms disgruntled employees into supportive team members via encouragement or praise. Right? Earlier, an employee who was not so much encouraged or praised to do the work, now the supervisor has encouraged him or her or praised him or her due to their outstanding performance. This encouragement and praise will help the earlier disgruntled employees who was away from the team to provide them support. Now he has become a more supportive for the team members while working with them. So motivation is important. Motivation help you to increase or praise your work. It will give you the kind of satisfaction in terms of your feeling and the emotions. You definitely work for your own benefit. So definitely it will reduce the employees turnover. Third one we are talking about, it will identify and fulfill the motivational need and retains the talent, saving massive recruitment and training cost. So when the employees are satisfied, be they will never be uh, they will never leave the organization at any cost. So it will save the massive recruitment and training cost of the organization. So it will reduce the employee turnover, it means when the most of the employees usually leave the organization on an average. So when they are motivated, they are increased, they are praised, so they will not leave the organization instantly or at any cost. So it will help the organization to save the massive recruitment and the training costs simultaneously. Next, it reduces the workplace absenteeism. It addresses the poor working condition and the low recognitions, turning work into a source of pleasure and ensuring the regular attendance. Sometimes when you as a supervisor, when you as a supervisor handle the poor working conditions and low recognitions, then you provide your employees a sense of good condition, a sense of good working condition, and more recognition low their low recognition, their low performance will turn into a source of pleasure, and it will ensure the regular attendance. Because most of the peoples who are even working in the poor working conditions and the low recognition, but at a certain period of time they need recognition, they need some good working condition. But if you are motivating them, you are giving a sense of direction, you are giving them a kind of self satisfaction about the job, about the payment, about the salary, about the bonuses, then it will definitely turn their source of pleasure and ensure a regular attendance. They will regularly come on the job, they will regularly attend their working, they will definitely become part of the organization on a day-to-day basis. So there will be a chance of less absenteeism. So in this way, your motivation will work. Next, we are working on a smoother introduction of structural changes, convincingly link proposed organizational shift with increased reward, minimizing the resistance. So sometimes the organization has to make changes on the each and every level, but sometimes employee resist it. They do not want the organization to make changes. They would not work on it. They would not accept the technology. They would not accept the AI based computer. They would not accept the AI based software. So these are what? These are the structural changes that the organization need to implement in their organizations with the passage of time as and when required. But if the employees are not able to change their behavior, not able to motivate themselves to accept that technological aspect, then definitely it will kill the organization and its working atmosphere. So, if employees are motivated to accept the changes, then definitely it will help the organization or help the organization to grow in terms of their social or their uh, profitable behavior, and it will shift the organization into a increased reward points atmosphere, or it will minimize the resistance. So in this way, your motivation will work for the organization and it's guide the behavior of the organization in a very significant manner. So structural changes definitely help you. Structural changes shift the increased reward. Earlier the organization which was not able to change its organizational structures, or earlier it was not able to accept the technological behavior of the organization because of the behavior of their employees who are resistant to the changes. Now they are able to accept the changes, so organization will definitely flourish by accepting the structural changes. They will definitely improve their system, they will definitely accept the new system, and the employees are also able to work over their change structure, so it will increase the reward for them and minimize the resistance. Next, we are moving on a very important theory, that is a Maslow need hierarchy theory. It will start from the very basics, but what is the importance of this theory? It is basically suggested by the psychologist Abraham Maslow, and it is important one. You need to understand its MCQs first of all. It is the theory developed by the psychologist Abraham Maslow, and this theory identifies a hierarchy of five basic needs that start from the psychological needs and move to safety, affiliation, then esteem, then self-actualization. In the next page, you can see a image of the same. So, what is the basic and psychological need? Most fundamental needs that you can say that hunger, thirst, and shelter and sleep. It is the most psychological need, and everyone wants to satisfy the same. So, organization on the level of organization, the basic salary you receive, it's your psychological needs. Your salary should be in your hand every month so that you can pay out your rent, your grocery expenses, your rent, your basic amenities that you can fulfill by that amount. Next, you move when your basic psychological needs is completed, you move to the safety and security needs, right? You need protection from the physical, economical, and emotional harm. It means from the organization point of view, you need a job security. Your job should be secure. You should get a stable income. You should have structured pension plans once you retire from your job. So this is your second best need that is recognized as a safety and security needs, right? You need a job, now it should be secure. You need a job, now it should provide you a stable income. You need a job, definitely it should have structured a pension plan once you retire from your job. Once you are able to fulfill these two needs, you move next one, that is affiliation, belonging needs, right? Emotional need for affections, acceptance, cordial relationship, and a group belongingness, right? This is basically a social need, right? You want social upliftment, you want a social recognition. People will accept you, people will recognize you, people will give you attention, people will give you acceptance. So you should have a cordial relationship or group belongingness aspects in terms of this need, right? From the examination point of view, if you see the example, good relation with the work colleagues. If you are working with your team member, then you are having a very good relationship with them, then it is called what? This is called the affiliation and the belonging needs. Affiliation belonging needs not only confined to the works colleagues, but it is also related with the social belongingness, right? How the people are receiving you, how the people will feel you, how they are having perception about you. So their perception will definitely affect your belonging needs or affiliation needs. Next, we are moving on esteem needs. Egoistic need for status, self-respect, autonomy, institutional recognition, and attention. Right? Egoistic need. Right? You have a status, you have some power, you have a self-respect, you have a autonomy, you have a recognition, you have a attention. So this kind of need is called esteem needs. So from the organization point of view, job titles and public recognition. Job title in the sense you are a regional manager of the bank, you are the regional manager of this organizations, and you have a public recognition. People know you, thousands of people give you the particular recognitions. Such and such person has been appointed as this and this. You are having esteem needs in this level. Next, self-actualization needs. The highest level, the drive to realize one's full potential and to achieve personal growth. From the organization point of view, hitting complex personal milestone and achieving of the work goals. Right? So once you are able to reach your full potentials, you have achieved your personal growth, then you have become or you have reached to the level of self-actualization needs, right? This is the highest level of needs that drive you to realize your full potential, right? You have a good amount of energy, good amount of patience, you have a good amount of passions about your working. So once you are able to make out the good perception about your work, when you are able to make out the good result out of your potentials, you when the someone accept you as a person who have a good experience, good quality, and good work ethics and experience about the work, then you are able to actualize or realize your self actualization needs. So, from the organization point of view, when you are able to achieve a personal milestone or you have achieved your work goals, for example, like Sundar Pichai, CEO of the Googles, he is working on that level of needs. This is called a self-actualization need. Sometimes it might opinion his opinion might be different. He has not actually reached to his he would have not reached to his full potential and still have to achieve personal growth. So in my point of view, this is his self-actualization needs. But in his point of view, he would have not reached to his full potential and he has not achieved personal growth. So there might be a difference. But right now, for examples, I am sharing you this one with you so that you can understand the level of need in terms of Maslow hierarchy need theory. So all these five needs are important. You have to remember that question are also asked from this particular theory, and it is related with the MCQs. It is related with your important aspects. Next, we are moving on. This is a particular pyramid that will help you to understand how the Maslow hierarchy needs start from the psychological needs. It's rank up, safety needs, social needs, esteem needs, and then reach to the self-actualization needs. Now we are working on the same parameters, core foundations, assumptions. What are the core foundation assumptions? When you follow this need, some of the assumptions you must have. First, behavior is guided by the unmet needs, right? Unmet needs which are not fulfilled, so your behavior will guide you accordingly. Needs are arranged in a strict hierarchical orders that I have shown you in this, show you through this paragraph, through this picture or the image. A satisfied need no longer motivates. Once you satisfy your psychological needs, then it will not be meant to you. Now you will see the safety need. Once your safety need is complete, your safety need is fulfilled, then you move to your social needs. So once the need is satisfied, you see on the higher ranking. So a satisfied need no longer motivate, only the next level up can drive your behavior. Then movement up the pyramid happens only after lower level needs are reasonably satisfied. Only you will observe that you will move in a pyramids only when your lower needs from the that start from the psychological needs complete. Then you see the safety need. Then you move to the social needs. In such a manner, you reach to the higher level. So this is the core foundation assumption that you need to remember while understanding this particular pyramid and related with the Maslow hierarchy needs theory. Next, we are moving on the typology of managerial incentive. It is very much important, and most of the time questions also ask will also be asked from this particular point. So there are financial incentives that will be related with the money, non-financial incentive that is not related with the money in a simple way. So financial incentives directly measurable in a monetary terms used to enhance the operational performance. So it related with what is related with the pay and allowances, basic pay, DNS allowances, performance linked, yearly raised, productivity linked, yearly raised. Next is a productivity linked based incentive, hook based structures directly to measure the output achievement, how much you produce and how much you receive. It is based on that principle. The more you produce, the more you achieve. It is a productivity linked wage incentive. Bonuses, one-time financial payout given above regular wages. Bonus you usually receive one time during a year or in a 6 month, that is above over and above your regular wages. Profit sharing, providing employees a predefined direct share in the organization's net profit. Co-partnership or a stock option, offering the corporate shares to employees at a set price and lower than market value to build a sense of ownership. This is very much important. You must remember this point because it is usually asked in the examinations. Because corporate uh, employees or when you are working in a corporate, employees are offered to accept some share at a price which are lower than the market value. Then it will help you to build a then it will help the organization to build a sense of relationship or sense of ownership with the employees. Employees should feel them as a owner of the organization, so that's why they organize this kind of option or they come up with this kind of schemes. Next is retirement benefit, financial security via provident fund, gratuity, and fixed pensions. These are the benefit that you receive after retirement from the particular organization. Next, you have a prerequisites. Fringe benefits like housing, car allowances, free children's educations provided over basic salary. So all these are what all these are the financial incentive that you receive once you become the part of the organization or once you are working with your organization. Second is non-financial incentive. It is not related with the money at all. They will be available with different options. First is the status. Focus on providing the psychological, social, or emotional workplace satisfaction. This kind of incentive is provided you in terms of status, organization climates, career advancement opportunities, job enrichment, employee recognition programs, job security, employee participation, and employees empowerment. All these points are not considered with any amount of money. They will just give you the status. Either they will help you to give you the authority, autonomy over and above the employees, and you are reward orientations. It will give you some advanced opportunity in terms of your career. It will help you to your job enrichment. Some challenging aspects of your job will be given to you so that you can make a full utilizations of your full potential. You can reach to the full potential of your own strength. Next, employee recognition programs, public congratulatory notes, notice board, display certificates, distribution mementos like corporate T-shirts. So this kind of employee recognition programs will be organized in which some of the important uh, values and benefits given to you. Next, job securities. It will give you job security. Your income and position stabilities through extreme securities can sometimes breed complacencies. So your income and position stabilities through extreme securities can sometimes breed the complacencies. It means that your income position are stable. During this time, you would not be fired from your job, and your income and position would remain with you, and but nothing would be improved in terms of your more income, no more financial benefit. So you can use your fuller utilization of your own strength or your own potential. So in this non-financial incentive, you will focus on this only. Next, employee participation, involving the staff in a decision making through joint management committees. Employee would be considered as a participant in the management aspects or in a joint management committee. Be they would be participated or they would be asked to participate in the committee so that employees should feel overwhelmed, employees should feel more approachable, employees should feel more engaged. So all these are the non-financial incentives. Next and last, employees empowerment, giving explicit operational autonomy and a power to the subordinate. Non-financial incentive is also helpful when you receive operation autonomy in which you are not interrupted at any moment of time when you are working with the organization, and the power you have or power you have in terms of the subordinate. So you have a more autonomy. You have a more power to guide your subordinate. So employee empowerment also become non-financial incentive from the organization point of view. Next, an important one we are moving, that is the leadership. How the leadership is important as a element of direction. Leadership is the interpersonal process of influencing people's behavior to make them strive willingly and enthusiastically towards the group goals. Leadership is what? Leadership is an interpersonal process in which the one person will lead you, will influence your behavior, that you must work in this manner, you must work in this manner, and that leader will work for whole organization, right? So let me help you to understand its features of the leadership. It indicates an individual personal capability to influence others. How a leaders can influence other person or other people in the organizations by showcasing his personal abilities or capabilities to influence their behavior. Second, it aims to bring about a positive changes in the followers' behavior. Third, explicitly defines the structural relationship between the leader and the follower. Explicitly define the structural relationship. लीडर और फॉलोअर्स के अंदर क्या स्ट्रक्चर रिलेशनशिप होनी चाहिए उसको एक्सप्लेन करता है. It executes specifically to fulfill shared or common goals. Executed specifically to fulfill shared and common goals. Leadership or a leader will help you to identify what are the common role of the organization and the employees, how the employees and the organizations are becoming part of each other's, and how the organization can help you to realize your own goals, your own motives, your own dreams. So leader will help you to fulfill the shared or common goals. Next, as a leader, it operates as an ongoing continuous process across the firms, because a leader has to lead the organization on at all level of the organization, yeah, at all level of managerial level. So the leader has to work in very precise manner. Organization in the organization, leader has to operate at all level of management, at all level of organization, and it will definitely it's it is a continuous process across the firms. So some of the features of leaderships that we have shared with you are like that. Now, note, effective leadership relies heavily on follower accepting the leader and contributing their unique skills and team spirit. So effective leaders rely heavily on the followers. Leadership or leadership qualities will only work when the follower will follow him, accepting him or her as a leader and contributing their unique skills and team spirit. Leader has a unique skills and ability to team spirit or team synchronization. Then only organization or its follower or its employees will listen to them, will obey their rules, will try to showcase their own ability in the manner in which the leaders wants to do the same. Next, it is the importance of leadership to an enterprise. What are the importance of leadership to an enterprises? We are moving ahead. It influences the employees to cancel their energies toward the organization goals. It establishes personal relationships to fulfill employees' needs, creating a supportive work environment. It overcomes the resistance to organizational change by persuading or inspiring the workforce. It handles conflict effectively by allowing followers to express disagreements before guiding them to a solution. And last, train the subordinate directly, building successor for a smooth future succession. So these are the importance of leadership, and these are equal to the importance or the some of the earliest factors that we have already discussed with you, how it affect the employees behavior, how it will develop the personal relationship, how it will help the organization to accept the changes, how it help the handle the conflict, and how it will help to train the employees or subordinate in a very significant manner. Now, very important part of the leadership is the leadership style. Leadership style is important, and usually question is asked from this point also. There are three types of leadership style. First is a autocratic. Second is a democratic, and third one is your laissez-faire or free reign leader. So what do you mean by autocratic leader? Autocratic leaders only give orders and expect immediate non-negotiable obedience, right? मैंने जो कहा वही सही है, इसके अलावा कुछ सही नहीं है, right? So give order and expect immediate and non-negotiable obedience. He or she just have to order and the people has to accept it as it is. There is a no chance of negotiable in obedience. So communication is strictly one way. What I say, you have to do that. What I say, you have to follow it. Okay. So the leader is a dogmatic, and the managers via a system of strict reward and punishment. This style facilitates quick decision making and can be highly effective in a production line and factory environment. Because this kind of leadership is important, because when you are working at a production line or factory environment, it is very much required at a lower level of organization, where the peoples are busy or working on a machine, working on a production line, working with the production line, working with the factories. So the what the supervisor will say, they have to obey the same. So in this way, there is autocratic or authoritarian leaders will only get the work done by the people who are working at the shop floor level, production level, or say production line or a factory environment. Next is democratic. As your name suggests, democratic. I need the suggestions. Democratic leader will take the suggestion. They will ask for participation from the employees and from the subordinate. So it will develop the operational plan and make key decision in a direct consultation with the subordinate. It increases the team participation, respecting individual opinions. This style build high motivation since worker tend to perform best when chasing the objective they have set. Right? It is important. Why? Because it will increase the team participation. It will respect the individual opinion. When the people are involved, they feel that their opinions are heard. They feel that they are being part of the organization. They are being part of the plan. They will definitely motivated. They definitely work for the organization. So it is important. Next one is laissez-faire or free reign leader. Avoid using power unless absolutely essential. When there is no need of power, you do not need to use it. Okay. So granting followers independence. This kind of leadership style that provide that grant follower independent choice. Do it. Whatever you want to do it, do it as per your own, as per your convenience, as per your requirement. But it should be in the organization interest. Subordinate formulate their own objective, resolve the issues independently. The manager act primarily as a support contract and supplying the necessary information and the resources. So this kind of style is also important. And here, subordinate formulate their own objective, their own plan, and they resolve the issues independently as and when it arises. So manager just has to act as a supporting contract. They will provide or supply the necessary information resources as and when required by the subordinate. So this is the three types of leadership style. We can also say them a classical taxonomy of leadership style, right? Next, we are moving on very important element and last one, that is your communications. How communication is important. how communication is important. As you know that communication is derived from the Latin word communist, means common, and refers to the process of exchanging facts, views, ideas, feeling to reach a common understanding. A manager's directing abilities depends heavily on their communication skills. Communication means when what you want to say, what you want to convey, it should be heard, it should be accepted, it should be perceived in the same way as the supervisor is saying to the subordinate. So communications without any flaws, without any problem, it should be heard, it should be accepted, it should be meant accordingly. So moving ahead, we are having a communication process that is detailed in the 7 to 8 point, that is start from the sender. Sender is what? Sender is the source individual who initiate and convey the underlying thoughts. Message, the raw content of an idea, order, or suggestions intended for the transfer. Encoding, converting the message into communication symbols like word, picture, or gestures. Media, the path or channel through which encoded message moved, such as a face-to-face, internet, and phone. Decoding, the process of translating the sender's symbols back into an understandable meaning. Receiver, the target person who received the transmitted message. Feedback, action by the receivers indicating they have received accurately and understood the message. And noise, any hindrance or every abstractions that disturbs communication clearly at any step. For example, it includes ambiguous encoding symbols, poor telephonic lines, and inattentive receivers or personal prejudice. Basically, communication process starts from the sender who initiate this who initiate the communication process. He draws the message, he encode the message, he will use the media, and through the media, whether it's an internet, phone, it will reach to the receiver will receive the message, he or she will decode the message, he will understand the message, and he or she will provide the feedback. So what has been said by the senders, it should be accepted, it should be heard, it should be understood by the receiver in a same way. Then we consider that communication process is complete. Next, we are moving on importance of communication in management. What is the importance of communication in management? Communication increase the coordination, right? It also increases the smooth working of the enterprises. It increases the basis of decision making. It increases the managerial efficiencies. It promotes the cooperation and industrial peace, and it establishes the effective leadership. And in last, it boosts the morale or provide the motivation. So if you are having good communication, your coordination will be better. Your smooth working among the enterprise of enterprises would be match. Your decision making would be good. Your manager efficiency would increase. Your cooperation or industrial peace would increase or promote, and you will be considered as effective leaders if you are able to send the message in a very effective way to the employees, and at last you are able to boost the morale and provide the motivation to your employees. So these are the importance of the communication in management. Next, we are moving on. Formal communication channel. Formal communication channels, it follow through the official predetermined organization line of authority. These communications can be oral or written, but are typically recorded or filmed. So there are two types of communication channels, that is a vertical communication and the one is a horizontal or lateral communication. Vertical channels flows vertically upward or downward. Upward example, leave application, progress report. Downward example, meeting notice and project guidelines. Upward example, if you want to sanction a leave, then you have to apply for a leave. If you want to give the progress report, then you have to give the progress report. Downward, if there is a meeting or a meeting has been conducted by the top management or middle level management, they will share you a notice, and sometimes they will give you the project and its related guidance. So Vertical communication will be upward or downward, not more than that. Next, we are moving on the horizontal or lateral communication. It occurs between the managers and a division of the same hierarchical category. For instance, a production manager contacting a marketing manager to discuss the product design. So it is usually done on the horizontal, right? A manager is meeting with another manager. It's called horizontal level. So vertical level is standing, horizontal level is landscape. Or vertical communication is a portrait, or say horizontal electrical communication is landscape. So one marketing manager is contacting with the other marketing manager, yeah, other production manager is this considered as a horizontal or lateral communication. So a production manager contacting a marketing manager to discuss the product design. So in this way, there is a two types of formal communication channel. Formal network, or you can say formal channel. Formal network topologies, we are working on this. There is a single chain network existing linearly between a supervisor and direct subordinate. Supervisors will handle the subordinate and subordinate will inform to the supervisor. So it's a kind of chain of command. So formal network technologies work on these five important ways. Wheel network subordinate communicate only through a central supervisor who act as a central hub, and peer cannot talk directly to one another, right? Like a scalar chain. Subordinate has to contact immediately supervisors to contact to its immediate manager. Then it will go beyond that. Then it is come to a very hierarchical level to other department of the other department of the management. You as supervisor then directly cannot contact with the other subordinate in the other department. So there is a wheel network. There is a wheel network. So subordinate communicate only through a central supervisor who act as a central hub. Next is circular network. Communications moves in a circle. Each individual talk only with their two adjoining peers or resulting in the slower flow. Circular flow network in which one person sitting, either he will talk to a person sitting on his right hand, either he will talk to person sitting on his left hand. And in the same way, the person who is sitting to the right hand can contact to a person sitting on his right hand on his left hand. So in this way, circular network will work. Next, free flow network. Every individual can talk to anyone else freely and facilitate the rapid communication. This is very important. And inverted network, a subordinate can communicate with their immediate bosses and also their supervisors. Bosses under strict prescribed rules. It is an inverted V network. Inverted V network will help the subordinate can communicate with their immediate bosses, immediate supervisors who is concerning with you. You can have a communication with them, and only their supervisors boss under strict prescribed rules. And if you find that anyone who is just immediate boss to your immediate boss, you directly have to contact with them with the help of your immediate boss. You cannot directly approach to the boss of your boss. So in this way, inverted V network will work. Next, informal communication channel. Informal communication channel, that is also called grapevine. Sometimes this word is appear in the examinations asking about informal communication channels. So what it is? It exchange that take place without flowing formal hierarchical lines. It is spread in all the direction without regard to authority labels. You do not have to follow any authority, you don't have to follow any rules. Can directly approach to any person in the organization. So it is an informal communication channel. It is called grapevine, right? Grapevine is called is kind of uh, say grabs and it is in a group, it is in a group of grabs. So group of grabs is called grapevine, and grapevine in which you can easily talk to anyone at any point of time. So attribute rated is what? Attribute rated with the satisfy the employee's social need to share views. It is spread rapidly but can generate unauthentic rumors and distorted message. So however, managers can use it to quickly gauge the subordinate reaction. So during the informal communication channel, that is also called grapevine, it will definitely help you to build your social belongingness. It will help you social needs, but it will definitely create a humor, unauthentic situation, distorting the message, right? So it will give you the false information to each other. Sometime it will percolates down in a very significant manners. Informations cannot be authentic. What you say will be strained down in a various ways and will reach to the destination in a very awkward manner. So this kind of unauthentic rumors might float during this informal channels meeting. Next, grapevine network topologies. It is a single stranded network. Information travels sequentially from one individual to another in a single line. One person will set to second, second will set to third, right? Gossip network, it is also known as a gossip network. One individual communicate with everyone else on a non-selective basis or a random basis. Then probability network, an individual share information randomly with others. Next is clutter network. Individuals share information only with the selected peers they trust, and this is typically the most popular grapevine network in the organization. So cluster network is important. You have to remember this, and grapevine is whole and soul is important, and you have to understand its network topologies because during the examination, this kind of topologies might be asked. So you must have to remember the same. Next, we are moving on important aspect, that is communication barriers to communications, right? This is important and this will help you to understand the communication barrier. Communication barrier is important, and there are different type of communication barriers: semantic barriers, psychological barriers, organization barriers, and personal barriers. This is very much fundamental and usually asked during the examinations, or it is definitely asked in MCQs or sometime in your short answer. So first barrier is semantic barrier. Semantic barriers is related with the meaning of the language. So distortion that occur during the encoding or decoding of the words and expressions. First, it is bad when your message is badly expressed, containing the inadequate or vocabulary or omitted words, then it is hampered or it will distort the language, distort the message. So you need to be very cautious about the same. Second, symbols and words that multiple meaning. For example, the word value interpreted differentially across context. So you should carefully use the word and symbol that should only have one meaning at a time. Faulty translations, when a manager's message is converted between the languages by a proficient translator. Sometimes faulty translation is done about a message and is converted between the language by a proficient translator. Fourth one, clarified assumptions that leave instruction open to different personal interpretation. Clarified assumptions, when you have to follow assumptions about a particular message, and every person has its own assumptions related with the message, and the message would be perceived in a different by the different people in a different context. So there is a number of interpretation about a message, so it should distort the message, so you should be very careful about the same. So your language should be appropriate, your message should be appropriate, your symbol should be appropriate. So in this way you can handle your semantic barriers. Next is technical jargon used by the specialist when addressing a non-specialist. Mismatch between the spoken words or underlying body language or the gesture. Sometimes it happens that you want to say something, but your body language will instructing something else, or providing symbols something else. So in this way, you are distorting the message and its ways. Next is psychological barriers that is related with the emotional state. That is also important and appears in the examination. Emotional or mental focus that blocks objectives, that blocks objective message understanding. First, it premature evaluation of the message before the sender completed. Lack of attention because the receiver's mind is already preoccupied. Information loss during the multi-level transmissions or a poor memory retentions, or mutual distrust between the parties which prevents them from understanding the true intent of the message. Psychological barriers is related with the emotion or mental factors, right? Suppose you have a message and you got the message from your supervisor and you unknowingly say that I know what he wants to say. It's just an emotional state. Okay, so this is the way you analyze the message. It would have been more important than your realization. So you have to be very careful about your emotional state. Once you accept the message, once you accept the important thing from your supervisor, you have to at least open the message, understand the message, understand its clarity, its underlying values, the emotion hidden behind the message. You must focus on all these four points in this particular emotional state or psychological behaviors, right? So it is very fundamental. You have to understand the context of the emotional state or the message that is in the emotional state. You have to understand that point as well. Next is organizational barriers that is related with the structure and the policies. Obstacle caused by the organization rules and regulation or the hierarchy. Centralization organization policies that do not support the free flow of information. Rigid rules and cumbersome procedures that delay the message delivery. Gaps in execution status that create psychological distance between the superiors and the subordinate. Complex organization structure with many managerial levels that distort the message at the filtering points, or a lack of organization facilities that suggesting boxes, open meeting, and the social gathering. So this organization barrier is very much concerned with the structure, policy, procedures, rules, and regulation. You just have to remember that if there is a formal structures or formal reporting relationship, then this kind of organizational behavior might be there. So you have to be very cautious about organization rules, regulation, and hierarchy once you are dealing with the organization barrier, or you can say the obstacle that you handle through the organization rules, regulation, and the hierarchy. So once you are facing the rules and cumbersome procedures, then you are definitely facing the organization barrier. If you are having a central organization policy that do not support the free flow information, then you are definitely having an obstacle. If there is a gap between the psychological difference between the superior and the subordinate understanding, then definitely it's organization barrier. And if there is organizational structures with many managerial labels, then definitely it distort the message at the filtering words, because it will percolate down from the top management to middle to lower level. Definitely it will distort the message. The result of the message would be different. You would not be able to accept the same as the top management was intended while sending the message. So it will be perceived something else at the lower level. So you must be very careful about organizational barriers, right? And at last, lack of organization facilities like suggestions boxes, open meeting, and social gathering. Last and important, personal barriers that is related with the individual traits. Personal barriers or personal factors unique to the senders or the receivers, right? A superior's fear of changes to their authority, leading them to suppress the information. A superior's lack of confidence in their subordinates' competencies. It leads to the personal barriers. If the superiors are not interested, and he has a lack of confidence in the subordinate performance, in the subordinate competency, definitely it's a personal barriers raised by the superiors. Third one is a subordinate's unwillingness to communicate out of the fear that it might harm their interest. Sometimes subordinate is not interested to communicate out their fear. He or she has a fear from this context or this that context. So when the subordinate is not able to communicate out their fear, then it definitely distort the message, distort the way of working between the superior and the subordinate. And at last, it lack of proper incentive or reward for offering the constructive suggestion. So constructive suggestion would not be a part of the organization process or the superior subordinate relationship, because there is a lack of proper incentive and reward. Superior will not accept your suggestion, and subordinate will not give his suggestion. Even though subordinate have a good suggestion, good quality of working environment, and good kind of suggestion he can give to the superior, but he will not accept it. So when you are working as a superior or subordinate should be able to provide his qualitative reviews, qualitative suggestions, or the opinions to the superiors, and superiors should obey or should respect the subordinate qualitative suggestions, qualitative opinions, and accept the same. So in this way, they can remove their personal grudges, personal barriers. Now, at last, we are focusing on what are the practical measures to improve the communication effectiveness. Clarify idea thoroughly before initiating the communications, whether it is between the subordinates and the superiors, or whether it is between the top management to lower management, or say middle management. So everywhere there should be first process. It should be clarify the idea. Clarify the idea throughout before initiating the communication. So before you communicate something to your superior or subordinate, you definitely clarify the idea, what you want to say, what is your message, and how it will reach to the particular person. Second, you need to tailor the message to match the education and understanding level of the receiver. Sometimes your receiver is not educated, and you are giving him or her the message in a very decent language, or very higher language full of vocabulary. So he will not be able to understand the same. So definitely you have to tailor the message to match the education and the understanding level of the receiver. You should tailor the message to match the education and understanding level of the receiver. Next, you must consult others and involve subordinate before finalizing a communication plan that is okay. It should be mindful of the language, tone, and content of the message to avoid causing offensive behavior. It should convey information that is of real value or interest to the listener. Definitely, it should be in a very convenient mode or convenient information that should present a real value and interest to the listener. And it should seek feedback from the asking question to verify that message was understood accurately or not. This is very much or fundamental. Once you are giving the feedback about something, then you can ask them. If you have any question, then you can raise your hand. Or if you want to put up a question, then they can answer your question. Then it will help you to understand their understanding about your understanding. So it will help you to understand their perception about what you want to say to them, what they have really understood your message in terms of your own understanding, or in terms what you want to convey your message they have accurately understood in the same way. So this is the way that will help you to judge the accuracy level of the message that has been understood by the receiver. Now, next is you have to structure the communication to address both short-term commitment and the long-term future goal. Next, you have to follow up regularly to help remove implementation blockage. Follow up should be there and it should be regular basis to help improve implementation blockage. And last one, it is a practice patient and alternative listening to help resolve workplace issues. And everyone should practice the patience and the attentive listening. It means one should be active listener at the workshop, or say organization, at the level of organization, so that they understand the message, they will listen to others, they will accept their message and understood in the same way as they wanted to make them understand. So this is all about your communication. So that's for today, and thank you very much to understand and remain with this particular chapter. Next time we will focus on the next chapters. Till then, take care and thank you very much once again to listen the things from the right till end, and it will definitely help you to understand the theory of this chapter and the practical way that I really try to make it simple so that you can easily understood the context of this particular chapter. So till then, thank you very much and have a nice